Migration is not a simple movement from one place to another. It is a multifaceted social phenomenon shaped by global inequalities, political decisions, climate change, and human aspirations. According to International Organization for Migration, more than 280 million people are international migrants. Today, that's around 3.5% of the world population. Understanding migration also means recognizing important legal distinctions. A migrant is someone who moves voluntarily, often for work, education, or better opportunities. A refugee is forced to flee due to persecution or violence and is protected under the 1951 Refugee Convention. An asylum seeker is someone who applies for refugee status but whose claim is still pending. These terms are not interchangeable. Each has different rights and protections under international law. Confusing them can lead to misinformed policies and human rights violations.
Migration challenges, issues faced by refugees in London. Housing is one of the challenges, and the housing instability and homelessness. Nearly half of refugees and asylum seekers in London face housing difficulties, with 17% of asylum seekers having experienced homelessness, and overcrowding, poor living conditions, and financial struggles to pay rent are widespread. These issues are exacerbated by discrimination and limited access to social housing due to policy restriction. Housing instability severely impacts their physical and mental health and undermines their ability to integrate into society. Barriers to employment is also another challenge, because despite all the legal right work, around 47% of refugees remain unemployed. For asylum seekers, the prohibition from working during a claim process limits their opportunities further. The barriers include the lack of recognized qualifications, limited English skills, and health challenges. This exclusion contributes to poverty, social isolation, and adversely affects mental well-being.
A clear example of harmful stereotypes for these vulnerable groups can be seen in migrants who illegally cross the US-Mexico border, where they are labeled or treated as criminals or invaders. This false identity has been reinforced by political discourse and media narratives, despite a lack of evidence linking migrants to rising crime and spread by ignorance of some of the country's residents about the main reasons why the people enter illegally in the first place. The consequences of these misconceptions are real and deeply affect the lives of the migrants. Labeling them as criminals justifies harsh immigration policies, such as prolonged detention, family separation, and denial of asylum. It also encourages anti-immigration sentiment, leading to acts of hate, labor discrimination, and even the denial of the most basic rights. These situations reduce opportunities for integration and severely impact the migrant pursuit of well-being.
When choosing the level of importance between two concepts, it is essential to analyze each one separately. In this case, the right to migrate and the right to not migrate. I will begin with the right to migrate. Some of the reasons why people choose this option include fear for their lives, lack of opportunities, experiences of discrimination, or the desire to grow and have a better life. These are just a few of many reasons. Some of the legal frameworks that support this right include the Geneva Convention, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and the International Convention on the Protection of the Rights of all Migrant Workers and members of their families. On the other hand, the right to not migrate is often associated with reasons such as cultural and emotional ties to one's homeland, the presence of loved ones, fear of rejection, or legal barriers. However, it is important to keep in mind that people have the right to live a dignified life in their place of origin without being forced to migrate in order to survive. This is supported by the right to development, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, which seeks to reduce forced migration, the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, and the Global Compact for Safe, Orderly, and Regular Migration, among others. Based on the points above, I can conclude that both rights are valid and necessary. Although the right to not migrate is important, I believe that the right to migrate is even more essential, especially considering that in many cases lives are at stake. Denying this right can lead to the violation of many other fundamental rights as well. So that's the reason that I believe that the right to migrate is more important.
Migration is a shared global responsibility. Countries of origin must work to secure right, not to migrate, meaning that people should not be forced to leave their home due to poverty, violence, or lack of opportunities. This requires investment in education, employment, and safety. Countries of destination have legal humanitarian obligatories to protect migrants and refugees. This includes access to asylum, procedures, anti discrimination policies, and programs that promote social inclusion. Additionally, high income countries must acknowledge their structural role in the cause of displacement, whether through conflict, environmental impact, or economic exploitation. Addressing migration ethically means embracing solidarity, justice, and international cooperation, not just border control.
As a global citizen, I believe we have a role in addressing the challenges migrants, especially refugees and asylum seekers, face today. It's not just about feeling sorry for them or donating once in a while. It's about choosing to care and act in ways that make real change. One way I can make a meaningful contribution is by creating knowledge through education and storytelling. Many people don't understand why migrants leave their countries or what they go through. By sharing their stories in school, social media, or community events, I can help others see them as humans, not as problems. When people understand, they are more likely to support fairer policies and reject harmful stereotypes. I also believe in supporting initiatives like small organizations created by migrants or people who want to help. These groups know what their communities need and often provide language classes, mental health support, legal help, or job training. Volunteering time, sharing their work, or helping them raise funds is a way to stand by their side instead of speaking for them. Globally, I can support movements that address the root causes for forced migration, like poverty, climate change, and conflict. This means demanding climate justice, ethical trade, and fairer foreign policies from powerful countries. If we fight for a world where people don't have to leave their homes to survive, we are respecting both the right to migrate and the right to not migrate. In the end, being a global citizen means acting with empathy. It's about standing up for others, even if they are far away or speak a different language. If enough of us do that, we can create a world that more just, welcoming, and safe for everyone.